Welcome back to the Motion Gallerium. The movie takes off on a hunt. The men make noises to draw out a deer, and amongst them is a prince named Sung-won who is a half-brother to the king. As they carry on the hunt, the prince accidentally falls off the horse, but soon after, one of the men wielding a bow makes the kill. Later, they celebrate the hunt at a deputy minister's house that is handpicked by the prince himself. He did such so he could see the deputy minister's daughter. As they eat, they hear a commotion outside, caused by a man named Kwon Yu, claiming that the prince is a thief as he's decided to keep all the deer to himself. The deputy minister gets outside and calms the man down, and it is at this time, the prince looks out the window and sees Yeon, the minister's daughter, and he is immediately conquered by her beauty. Later, he looks outside the window again and he sees her, but this time, she's with a man, and he even overhears her telling him to wait until the guests have all left. He sees how close they are together, and envy befalls him. We are then taken to the palace, where we meet the prince's mother who wonders about his frequent visit to the minister's house. She then asks if it's because of her daughter, to which the prince tells her, he's never felt that way before to any woman, but her, to which his mother reminds him of the court's criticism over his actions and tells him to stay away from her. Then, we see the king, visiting his stepmother, and they talk about an heir, to which it's revealed that the king had recently lost her queen, and the two agree that the stepmother find him a wife, to produce for him, an heir. That night, the drunken prince goes to the deputy minister's house and bangs on the door, asking for the woman he saw earlier, wondering why she doesn't love him, and soon after, the woman, now wearing a commoner's outfit to blend in, sneaks out with Kwon Yu in an attempt to run away, to which later they spend the night together in a shed, in the woods. Later that night, they are invaded by what appears to be bandits sent by the girl's father, who beat and capture Kwon Yu. She then goes to her father and begs him to release him, claiming that it's not his fault that they ran away, and that it was her idea all along, to which he refuses, telling him that if word of this gets out, they could all get killed. She then agrees to go into the palace and serve as king's wife, and as she leaves into the carriage, she hears Kwon Yu call her name. At the palace, they take off her commoner's clothes and force her to take a shower. 5 years pass, the woman, Yeon, has fathered a son with the king, and the king's health has deteriorated to a point that he can't even sit upright and have a simple conversation. Later, Sung-won offers Yeon a gift, a jade hairpin, and she accepts. It's clearly hard for him to see the love of his life married to his half-brother, the king. Later, the king's mother accompanied by the court goes to see the ailing king, but they are refused entry. Soon after, the king dies despite all efforts to revive him. Later, the queen speaks with his father, who show her the kitchen log, and that there's nothing recorded on it around the day of the king's sudden illness, meaning that he may have been poisoned, and also, the matron in charge of the said log, is also missing, and to prove that the king was poisoned, they need to find her immediately, promising that he can gather up some ministers and speak with them about it, and later, the same ministers are arrested in charges of treason under the order of the queen mother, including her father. Soon after, the prince Sung-won gets coronated as a king, and not soon after, he is wed to a woman and they enjoy their first wedding night together. Later, Yeon is informed that the kitchen matron could be locked up in the palace's catacombs, to which she goes to investigate and find her. She tells her about the missing data in the kitchen logbook, that the king didn't eat at his usual palace area, that day, he ate at his stepmother's place, signifying that he was poisoned by his mother. Not soon after, he witnesses the queen mother enter the catacombs and order a strict punishment to 2 people. Not soon after, the king Sung-won goes to see the widow, Yeon. He's evidently still in love with her, so he orders her chambers be decorated with all the finest furnitures. At the court, reports are given on the progress of the nation, including the pardon for hundreds of offenders against the crown, but surprisingly, they are all forwarded to the queen mother and not the king. The king gets upset by this, and he asks about Yeon's father. Later, the queen mother scolds her son for asking about Yeon's father, claiming it's a show of weakness, and she then forbids him from ever seeing Yeon. Later, it is revealed that after they caught Kwon Yu with Yeon, they had him castrated as punishment for defiling a noblewoman, and now, he serves as a palace eunuch. Now, Yeon meets him, she weeps for him, to which he says, Kwon Yu is dead, and that he now belongs to the court. At the height of Yeon's father's execution, the king Sung-won begs her mother to withdraw the execution. In return, he'd do anything for her, but she refuses. The king angrily vetoes the court's decision, and sends Kwon Yu to stop the execution immediately, but when he reaches the execution grounds, he says nothing. He lets it happen, because the man made him a eunuch. If you don't know what a eunuch is, it's a person who has been castrated, that is, it's a man who's lost his genitals. The king gets upset over the execution, and goes to see Yeon, the love of his life, only to find the entrance guarded, but he forces himself in. He peeks at the door, and finds her sobbing, in pain, due to her father's death, so he finds it hard to confront her. While back at the court, the ministers beg the queen to banish Yeon, believing she's behind the deaths. Later, Sung-won goes to see Yeon, expressing his remorse over her loss and his love for her. She, however, expressed her resentment towards him, and in return, he takes her personal servant and friend and sleeps with her that night, because he's a king, so he can do as he pleases, and as he makes love to her, he sees a hallucination of Yeon with his now castrated lover Kwon Yu, and then, he hallucinates having sex with Yeon during the whole act, proving how obsessed he is with her. After, the personal servant is promoted to be the king's concubine, upon which, she got her own bedroom and a personal servant. Yeon endures her father's loss, and soon after, she longs for revenge. Yeon later discovers of Kwon Yu's revenge motive against his father, and she confronts him. The queen mother's right-hand man offers Kwon Yu poison in an attempt to killing the king. He accepts, as currently, his loyalties lie with him. Meanwhile, the king's obsession over Yeon grows deeper, and clearly, he gets a bit more erratic day by day. At one instance, he tries to force himself on her uncontrollably. She pushes him away, telling him to come back when he's grown a pair, and he promises her he will become a better and stronger king for her. The king's mother hears about this and orders Yeon's death to protect her own interest over the crown, to which, unfortunately for her, Sung-won overhears her. Later, Kwon Yu goes to see Yeon, who is now in tears, offers to run away with him once again, to which she refuses for the sake of his son's life, telling him she will do whatever it takes to make him a king. So instead, he offers his loyalty and help in any way he can, therefore changing sides and shifting his loyalty to her. Yeon begins her plot for revenge, and at one instance, she and Kwon Yu trick him into thinking he's with her into her bed chambers, so he draws a sword and barges in, only to realize he's not there. In another instance, Kwon Yu plots to poison the king's medicine, but when the medicine reaches the king mocks the people who brought the medicine, and makes Kwon Yu drink the poison. He immediately collapses down, much to the king's surprise. The king then interrogates the physician who prescribed the medicine, and shows him a pouch that was found in his room, but when he presses him harder, he reveals that the man in charge of the medicinal herbs is Minister Yeon, the queen mother's right-hand man, proving his suspicion all along. Amidst the chaos, Yeon sends her son out of the palace for safety. Meanwhile, Yeon's old servant tells the queen mother that the boy he had was actually Kwon Yu's and not actually the king's child. The queen mother immediately betrays her and have her sent to the dungeons. She did this to get her out of the way so she could keep the king all to herself, now that she's the king's concubine. As events begin to unfold, the queen mother orders Yeon's arrest, and the king orders the queen mother's arrest. Yeon gets arrested and is put in the dungeons, while the queen mother confronts her son, who questions her involvement on his medicine poisoning, to which she denies. He speculates that it was her plan all along to poison him, and then pin it on Yeon, then have her killed along with her son, killing 3 birds with 1 stone. Meanwhile, soldiers under the king's orders head for the dungeons to rescue Yeon and seize everyone else involved, but the queen mother's right-hand man refuses to release her. The queen mother then confesses to having poisoned the king's half-brother, telling him that she did all of it to protect him. She attempts to play the mom card, but the king orders the queen's right-hand man, Minister Yeon, and Kwon Yu to come forward and confess. The queen mother begs her son to bring forth Yeon, so she too could be interrogated, but suddenly, she shows up and immediately pleads her case. The king then calls to Kwon Yu to say who gave him the poison and ordered him to poison the king, to which he says it was the queen mother who gave the order for the poisoning, and it was her right-hand man who supplied it to him. The two begin begging for their lives, but they finally taste the king's wrath, who orders their imminent execution and orders they be isolated for the time being. Later, Yeon expresses her gratitude towards Kwon Yu for helping her and keeping her promise. Kwon Yu tells her to take care of their son, showing that he believes that the boy is his and Yeon's, to which she gets close to him like a supervillain would, and tells him that the boy is no one's son, but her own, leaving the man in tears. The king then sits by himself and remembers the words of Yeon that When he grows a pair, then he can finally go see her. So he goes to her only to find her waiting outside his chambers. He asks her to finally accept him, to which she takes off her cloak and he undresses her. He's finally gotten her, the woman of her dreams. He falls in tears. She teases him and climbs on his bed. He goes to her and makes love to her. In a chilling moment during the intercourse, she takes the hairpin he once gifted long ago, and stabs him in the neck with it. He dies in her arms. She cries. A servant gets in and cloaks her. The news of the king's death reach his mother, who's currently rotting in jail, as one of her old servants visits her and hands her a sword to possibly take her own life, to avoid a shameful execution. Days pass. Yeon's son is returned to her and she has finally achieved her dream of making her son king, so she takes him inside the court where the king resides, and the boy immediately runs towards the throne. But suddenly, the court's doors close behind her and she turns around with a concerned look. The movie ends with a question mark. Has the games really ended for her, or have they just began? Hit that subscribe button for more recaps. A small gesture to you, most meaningful to us.